Hello, everybody. Krauserzero here. I know it's been a while since I announced doing this video, but stuff happens, life happens. I actually did a take, and I was like, it's probably not going to be that good. So we're gonna try this again. Same questions as last time, obviously. I have them on my phone here, and all that fun jazz. And obviously, I have more facial hair now. Anyway, so yeah, this is a video so people get to more in depth about me, Krauserzero, your Bush Lord, and stuff like that. So, starting out with the first question from Nerd Herd channel, also known as Optics, he asked me, "What's your overall background in video games?" So, I'm not sure how old I was. Obviously, I probably was a couple years old because the Nintendo NES, as we all know it around here in the States, was already in my household when I was a wee lad, and so yeah, we had a Nintendo or an NES. My brother played it. I don't know why my brother and my mom sold it, but we had some fun times with that. We didn't actually have Zelda. We didn't play Zelda on the original NES. And so that was one of the things. Like we had different games and stuff like that. But after that we went to the started we got the Game Boys. I'm talking about OG Game Boys, like 4 batteries and all that. We played some games on me and my brother both had our own Game Boys. We were playing games on there, stuff like that. We actually did not get a Super Nintendo. We did not get a Super Nintendo. We skipped that. So we went from Game Boy, the Game Boy Pocket and all that. So for me, um, I've gone from Game Boy all the way to the current handheld, the 3DS XL. So to cover the whole range of things of Nintendo handhelds, I've covered the whole spectrum. There's probably a few handhelds I did not get, like the Game Boy Micro. Um, that's more due to the fact of not needing it. So so we skipped the Super Nintendo. Our next home console was the 64. That's where we got into Zelda and all that fun stuff. Zelda, Resident Evil 2. I think we had Killer Instinct Gold at the time, and we also had Mischief Makers, but we didn't really get play those that much. We were more into Zelda and things like that. Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong. I we didn't own Banjo Kazooie. My cousins did, so stuff like that. And so your typical, mostly mainstream Nintendo games. And then then later on, the one surprising note to me on one of my birthdays, this was in elementary school, I was sitting at home waiting and I'm like, where is everybody? It's my birthday. Like, I don't expect friends, presents, or like mounds of presents. And like, where's my family? So I'm waiting, getting sad. Little kid, obviously, boohoo me. And then my mom and my brother come home. My brother has the cake and the ice cream. My mom has Majora's Mask with the strategy guide, and it is the gold holographic Majora's Mask. So it was the first run, I want to say. It was like the first run of that. Instantly happy. So we had Majora's Mask, GoldenEye, obviously, we almost forgot that one, GoldenEye. Obviously, during my Nintendo handheld things, Pokemon was there. When the Game Boy Advance came out, that's how I got introduced to turn-based games like Advanced Wars because I thought Advanced Wars was a shooting game. Turn-based game. So yeah, that's how I got into that. So obviously, Advanced Wars, I kept with that. Final Fantasy, that's later on. I'm sorry, not Final. Well, actually, the Final Fantasy is later on, so is Fire Emblem. So obviously, we had the 64. We actually had Turok too. Almost forgot about that. And then we went on to the GameCube. Now, at the point of the GameCube, my brother was into it slightly, but like probably a couple months after the game came out, my brother was done with gaming, so the GameCube became personally mine. And we had pre-ordered the GameCube or Wind Waker, so we got that compilation Zelda disc with all the older ones on there. So I was going through the other ones that were on there that were not the old school ones because I was like, how do I play these? Because like those were the Super Nintendo NES ones. I was like, I don't get how I'm supposed to play this game. And so Road Squadron, which actually had the original Road Squadron 64, I almost forgot. Both Road Squadrons on there. Luigi's Mansion. Obviously, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, the Smash Bros. Games, some Metroid Prime games. Like I had Metroid Prime 1. I was so confused. On the Game Boy Advance, I got the Zero Mission, Metroid Fusion. I beat those ones. Surprised. I beat Zero Mission and Fusion. Took me forever to beat Metroid Prime 1. It took me like a long time. So obviously the GameCube had some interesting titles on there. I didn't really get that heavy in a lot of the ones that I was like, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Sonic Adventure. I'm trying to think. I don't really think I had that many other ones at the time. And as I'm looking up the other ones I currently own. But yeah. So with that, obviously after that, the gaming was, and by me the household was just me. Um, at a certain point, I know I got a PS2 purely for Kingdom Hearts 1 because my cousin, because he got me into Kingdom Hearts. And I didn't have a memory card for a while, so can you imagine doing the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1 over and over again? You can't. But yeah, so there was that. I know I had a Dreamcast for a bit. I don't know why I got a Dreamcast, but I was like, we're not going to get into that because I had it for like a month, then I got rid of it. Um, so I actually got a Nintendo Wii, the one I currently have is not the original one I had. On release date, Christmas, thanks to my father, no one still wanted at a Toys R Us. I was able to get one. The only Wii game I had at the time, honestly, was Wii Sports because I had gotten Twilight Princess for the GameCube. So naturally, I had left-handed Link, like the normal Link. Obviously, the Wii version of Twilight Princess, they made Link right-handed, flip the dungeons because I guess percentage-wise, there's more right-handed people than left-handed people in the world. I guess that makes sense for the control scheme-wise. So I don't I know I got the Smash Brothers game for the Wii, a couple random titles. I don't remember getting anything crazy big. I didn't even get into Mario games. Like I literally got a few things, and that's when I got into the PS3 because my dad got a PS3 purely for the Blu-ray player, but eventually he didn't really use it, so I ended up with it. Mm-hmm. 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 Um. Yeah, that's what I ended up with that. I didn't really use the PS3 myself. I think, yeah, I had it. Didn't really touch it that much. I know I got a 360 at one point. I got the 360 before my dad gave me the PS3 actually. So Call of Duty's when I got introduced to Call of Duty was a 360, playing with friends online at the time. Making online friends. But it got to a certain point through the whole playing Call of Duty, like the new ones coming out, that the people I played online started to just like not want to do anything with me because who knows. I was I'm not like how back then I was more meek, not like open and like yeah, or very aggressive, like angry, aggro, when it comes to stuff like that. But so I stopped playing Xbox 360, went to the PS3, did more of the like the story games and stuff like that, and I had that. And eventually, I remember, going to school and that. I eventually got a job at GameStop and stuff like that, you know. So obviously, I worked at GameStop for 6.5 years. But I'm not gonna go into details about that. That is something completely different. And so I got a PS4 like the tax season after it came out. Yeah, I didn't get an Xbox One for a while. And so I had friends on PS3, like with Call of Duty clans on there. Of course, the clan was shrinking because there was like infighting with certain parts of the clan. It was like, oh, for Call of Duty clans, it's like mind numbing. People starting to make sure people fight each other. It's like, I'm just trying to shoot people in Call of Duty. Come on, stop arguing with each other. And so, the clan really is dissolved now. It's gone. It's not coming back. But yeah, so whatever was left of it went to PS4. Some stayed on PS3 because I couldn't afford a PS4 at the time. And so I went to more of their games like Resident Evil 6 and stuff like that. And And then I made a friend while working at GameStop, and he got me into RPG goodness because he was into RPGs, fighting games. You make a game, he's probably gonna end up beating it if he puts some time into it. 100% on that guy. And so I got into RPGs and all that. So I was like, you know what? You know, because I dabbled with Final Fantasy here and there. I beat 12 games for played 13, didn't game for that one, but that was a trial for 13-1. And so I got into RPGs because of him, the Tell series, Elder series, and things like that. Yes, I did get the Wii U. I didn't even get mini games for it. I was supposed to buy Wii games on the Wii U. And then PS4 was still existing then, and then obviously the PSP. On the PSP, I got certain games like Kingdom Hearts, Birth by Sleep, obviously, we're good RPGs. What else did I get on that thing? The East series is East, people. I know it says Y and S. It's not Y apostrophe S. It's East. So that's how I got into that series on the PSP. Obviously, I had a DS at the time, and I saw the Chronicles on there. But then I just got the download, the 1 and 2 when it came out for the PSP, and then Ultimate Filgana because Arc Adaptism was there, and then 7 was the newest one. There was 4 games from East on the PSP physically. So I went through all of them. It was a trial. If you've seen my streams, you saw I've streamed a couple of the other East games. And then, the Vita came out. I was like, yeah. My friend of mine won it from Taco Bell. I paid him for it. Got that and the games that came with it. Traded those in. Got Gravity Rush. That game is amazing on the Vita. If you have not played Gravity Rush, even the PS4 version, you're doing yourself a disservice. And no, I'm not being paid to say that. I loved the game on the Vita because it took full control of the Vita controls. And obviously, there's been a large plethora of games on the Vita. Like, I can literally grab right now and pull a game. Like, for example, well, Papers, Please. This is the 11 run game title. We'll get that soon. And then, so obviously other games came out for the Vita, like its Origins, Resident Evil games, and stuff like that. Like on 3DS, had Resident Evil Mercenaries. Like that exists. It's things like that. Obviously on the PS4, as you can tell, by the way, I don't do sport. I never really did sports games, and racing games was kind of there if it wasn't like Mario Kart, Diddy Kong, other things like that. And so the Vita was like another gateway to awesome, like games for me to play and things like that, like more RPGs, some fighting games like Blaze Blue, like literally right there, like you have to be playing, but like close to where my laptop is. I have the collection edition of the last Blaze Blue game they made for consoles. I've only taken the game out of it; everything else is still in the box. And so yeah, I had a wide variety of different genres I played, some I didn't. Then I got the Xbox. I dabbled with that a bit. I still have my original Xbox one I ever bought, but I don't really get games on it because Game Pass. But another series to mention, Alan Wake. I need to really get into the DLC and expansions and stuff like that. That game was trippy. And then obviously Nintendo goes like, boom, Switch. So obviously, if you've seen my streams, I have a large library of Switch games. Also, I think it's only barely eclipsed by my Vita games, if not one or the other. They're always like neck and neck on how many of each one of those I have. So obviously constant Zelda. I did play Sunshine on the GameCube, going back to that, but didn't really beat it. Galaxy I beat, didn't beat Galaxy 2. I didn't like the 3D Mario's like the actual 3D ones, not the ones that are like like straightforward levels like the Super Mario Brothers U and stuff like that. I played the other ones, like they're the aesthetic of 64. I did dabble on the DS with and Game Boy Advance with the Mario and Luigi series. And so the Switch, Zelda, Valkyria Chronicles. Another strategy game, by the way, RPG strategy, but nonetheless strategy game. and a lot of other different genres. Like I had Resident Evil. The only Resident Evil games I have yet to beat that are storyline wise are Revelations 2 and 7. You're never gonna see me stream those because I Revelations 2 just irked me with the stupid laser room, and then 7, the first person. Just I'm so used to third person Resident Evil games. First person, I'm like crap. mm, So yeah, the other. So obviously the Switch, Xbox One, PS4, where I'm currently at with the Vita and the 3DS with all that stuff. So I've touched on a lot of genres and all those. And obviously, the next question Nerd Herd channel asked is, "What's my favorite genre?" And what is it? And what drove me to that genre? Now, if you really know me, asking my favorite of something is not a good question. I never have an answer for that because I don't. Yeah, but it's always just depends on what I'm in the mood for. But if we had to nail it down to a few genres of RPGs, like I wouldn't say pure horror games, but like more in line with Resident Evil, like how they do it. I'm not one for like the jump scares. That's not me. Um, Mostly those and shooters, I guess, because I like to shoot things in games. So those three would nail it down. RPGs would mostly have to be attributed to my cousin to begin with because of Kingdom Hearts. Because with that's just the gateway to Final Fantasy, everything else. Because Final Fantasy is what Kingdom Hearts is without Disney, in my view of things. So yeah, and Tales series and all that. Um, that obviously with horror games like that would be because me and my brother with Resident Evil 2 on the 64. The funny thing is, I have a fear of spiders. It's been there for I've had it for so many years. I was Resident Evil 2. What's in the sewers in Resident Evil 2 original? January's tarantulas. I don't know how I got through that unscathed. I don't, like mentally on that one. But got through it. So Resident Evil series started there. Resident Evil 4 was what kickstarted, so that's when I went back to play all the other ones and things like that. What was the third one I mentioned? Resident Evil, RPGs. Oh, shooters. Because Call of Duty, obviously, it was Call of Duty. Obviously, that's one big shooters out there. I've tried Battlefield. Can't really get into it. So shooting games like that, Apex, we'll get throw that in there because that's first person and things like that. Fortnite, Fortnite, and things like that. So yeah, those are the three. Obviously, I could change at any time. I mean, I don't hate a lot of the other genres. I just don't care for sports video games just because if I was able to, I'd go outside and play those if I had enough people. And if I wasn't going to give up, I'd buy the ball. Next question is not from Nerdherd, it is from Vilter Drexy. I'm not sure how to say that, probably. Where did you get your handle slash gamer tag? Well, gamer tag kind of goes in line, I guess, with my handle. So obviously, if you've played Resident Evil 4, you know who Krauser is. So obviously, like that's where the Krauser part of any username you see of mine comes from. Is that any like moniker Demon Dark and stuff like that was during for my Facebook phase. Sorry, my MySpace phase in my life. We're not getting into that. Never. If you ask me to do a question, answer that question on a video, it's not happening. No. But so if you see my handle on Twitch, which is Krauserzero, one in the series I forgot to mention during the whole handle thing was the Mega Man Zero collection, well Zero series. Yes, I'm a Mega Man Zero fan. Deal with it. So obviously, Krauser Zero, Mega Man Zero, Krauserzero. Boom. That explains that part. Now the Bush Lord part, where I put those, so, the part that has to do with that's the bush I'm talking about, the plant. Um, has to do with Fortnite. So obviously, when I started playing Fortnite and stuff like that, I was getting very good. This is back in like early Fortnite days with the whole battle royale, not like how it is now, where I'd be good at hiding bushes and taking people down from there. When you used to be able to band yourself to make the bush appear or drink the thing and the bush appear because it changed animations. Um, yeah, so I was good. I got the name Krausebush. Did not care for it, and then I can't remember. Someone called me said PP. I think that was zero. And then so Krausebush, yeah, Bush Lord. So at that after a certain time being called Krausebush and the other nicknames, I came up with the Bush Lord. And obviously, you can see with the sticker I just showed you, I keep running with it because Krauserzero, the Bush Lord, and things like that. So that explains the usernames, like my Twitch stuff, the emotes, stuff I put in there, how I respond to things. If you follow me on Twitter and other stuff with the Krauserzero, the Bush Lord, stuff like that, because it's something a little bit different. No, it probably someone's thinking like people think of Lord of this, Lord of that, like generic things. But what if was the Lord of the bushes? Because bushes are everywhere. They're just waiting in they're just in the ground, just there. You never know what they're doing. They're just there, and boom, you're taken out. That's me. But yeah. But going back to the video game thing, and one thing I'd like to actually, we're gonna close it here. I know folks love jumping thoughts is I'm not sure what it'd be without video games because that's what got me my job at GameStop, which is up to my current job I have now. Don't work at GameStop anymore. And then I'm not sure how it would be like in social environments without that because I've gone to E3 and stuff like that. Because I didn't really do big things and stuff like that beforehand unless I was with family, like family events. But I don't even want to imagine how my life would be without video games. There's some things people like, oh well, you would be this and that, but who knows? Who knows where I'd be without them? There's so many people I've met because of video games. Because of video games, I met some friends. I've obviously, like anything else in life, lost some friends, made some enemies, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't change my love for video games in the world because of what's made what I am now. You know, Obviously, if you know me, I stream also. But without video games, I don't think I'd be where I am now. I could be out in the streets. I could, yeah, I could be in a way worse situation, way worse probably. But at the end of the day, I'm just happy. I wouldn't change that in the world. Now, if you have any questions for me, you want me ask me. Obviously, this is a YouTube video. I have YouTube, and obviously, if you see me looking down there, like down this way, that's because that's where my laptop is. I'm so used to my camera's right there. So don't comment it. Like you can comment if you want to, but I'm not probably gonna put it in the video. I'll put a link to my Twitter, and you could DM me on Twitter questions. Now, again, I hold the rights not to have to answer those. If you persist on trying to make me answer it, obviously, there's this thing called the block button, all that hoopla, and I will ignore it completely because I refuse the right to answer certain questions. That's prerogative of mine. So again, I want to thank Optic/Nerd channel and Vilter for the questions, things like that. So again, if you have any questions, Twitter, my Twitter's gonna be down there, and then you can message me with a DM. You can DM me on Twitter with your questions. And if it's not, I just hope it's not really questions that we were asked right now. If something different, awesome. Which is like, Anyways, folks, thank you for watching.